Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate our Independence Day. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate. Happy, happy, happy Independence Day. We are one, we are one, we are Indians, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are Indians, we are one. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate our Independence Day. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate. Happy, happy, happy Independence Day. Let's respect, let's respect, let's respect our great nation. Let's salute, let's salute, let's salute our freedom fighters. Let's enjoy, let's enjoy, let's enjoy our freedom together. Let's enjoy, let's enjoy, let's enjoy our freedom together. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate our Independence Day. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate. Happy, happy, happy Independence Day. We are one, we are one, we are Indians, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are Indians, we are one. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind.
Happily. Finally decided to leave India.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now that time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. Not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. 15th August, 1947, midnight. India awakes to a new life of freedom. But 2 centuries of colonial rule had decayed India from within, leaving the country ridden with poverty and hunger. Our founding fathers set out to wipe every tear from every eye. They needed a pole star, that single focal point to make India modern and progressive. Something that captured the uniqueness of the chaotic but eternally hopeful nation. A bright light to illuminate the dark storm lashing the horizon of the future. The 1920s was an uncertain period for the Indian national movement. And then came the Chauri Chaura incident. Mahatma had suspended the non-cooperation movement. 3rd February 1928. The Simon Commission arrives to review the Act of 1919 and was met with widespread protests as it had no Indian representation. The British, in their arrogance, proclaimed that Indians were incapable of self-rule and deciding for themselves. Lord Birkenhead, the Secretary of State, in response to the Indians' reactions, laid down a challenge at the House of Lords. The founding fathers rose to the occasion. An all-party conference was convened in February and May 1928. Led by Nehru, the committee drafted the Nehru Report in September 1929, demanding self-government under Dominion status within the empire. But Quaid-e-Azam, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, rejected the report, stating that from then on, Hindu and Muslim paths were different. He further countered the report with his infamous 14 points in March 1929. Meanwhile, the annual session of the INC was held in Lahore in 1929 under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. They voted for the historic resolution of complete independence and declared the last Sunday of January 1930 as Independence Day. The resolution gave the British Parliament the ultimatum that if they accepted the report by 31st December 1929, Congress would adopt it as it is. If not, they would insist on complete independence. December 31st, 1929, the INC stalwarts gather around the river Ravi. The British have paid no heed to the ultimatum, and thus the Swaraj flag is proudly unfurled. The freedom fighters were prepared for the fight. It was an event so monumental, it would change the course of history itself. Elections were held in 1937. INC came into power and formed ministries in almost all provinces. For the first time under British rule, Indians could become directly associated with the government. The dream of Indians holding the power of the government and serving the masses had become a reality. But the cheer didn't last long. World War II was initiated. Congress ministries resigned in 1939, protesting Lyndon Lithgow's decision to involve India in the war without consulting the Indians. Multiple attempts of involving India in World War II failed. With its end, the decline of the British Empire became inevitable. Mutiny amongst the naval rankings in the Air Force was the final nail in the coffin. The Cabinet Mission Plan arrived in 1946 to try and reach a settlement acceptable to all major stakeholders. The plan became the foundation for the establishment of the Constituent Assembly. For a total of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, over 11 sessions and sitting for 166 days, the Assembly debated and discussed the various challenges facing the new nation. The ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice were embedded deep into our Constitution. On 26 January 1950, the Constitution was enforced in its entirety. It is the foundation of free India, which we have become so accustomed to. It is our duty as citizens to know it, understand it, nurture it, and defend it. It is our duty to remember, so that we can build the India of our dreams.
Students, today I'm going to take a very important chapter. You know what it is? It's about our national leaders. Mohan, listen.
Ma'am, first you are going to tell us about About our national leader Mahatma Gandhi ji.
You are right. Let's see about him. Let me show you some of the important pictures of these leaders. His full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was a victorious, non-violent fighter.
Non-violent means?
It means without hurting anyone or not involving in violence. Do you know where he was born?
In Porbandar.
Correct. He was born on 2nd October 1869. After his school studies, he went to England to study law when he was 18.
In that case, he was a lawyer.
Yes, he was a popular lawyer and practiced law for 3 years in India and 20 years in South Africa. I will narrate few incidents that happened in his life. Once, when Gandhi ji was in school, an educational inspector visited the school.
Now I'll give you some English words. Everyone should write it.
While writing, Mohan did not know the spelling for a word.
Mohan, if you do not know, copy from your friend.
But Mohan did not like to copy. Everyone has written all words except Mohan. Teacher scolded him. Though he felt sad, he thought what he had done was right. In another incident, once Mohan started smoking. For that purpose, he started to take loan and steal. The loan amount increased. To repay the loan, he stole a piece of gold from his brother's jewel and repaid the loan. But he felt guilty for what he had done. From that day, he decided not to steal, and he wrote everything what he had done on a piece of paper and gave it to his father, who was in his deathbed. When his father read it, he tore the paper without uttering a word. Mohan felt terribly sad and tears rolled down. From that day, he decided only to speak the truth. When he was in South Africa, an incident occurred which changed the life of Gandhi. In South Africa, Indians were treated very badly. Indians will be called as coolie. One day, Gandhi was traveling in a train in first class. A European who boarded the same compartment
Push out this coolie!
A guard pushed him out. He stayed there throughout that cold night. This incident seeded the thought of Satyagraha in his mind. Next day, when he continued his journey, he sat behind the coachman to avoid further problems. But when an officer arrived there,
Get down. Sit on that luggage.
Gandhiji refused. The officer started beating him while other passengers interfered and made Gandhi to sit behind the coachman. Following this incident, Gandhi called for a public meeting and wished to start a committee. This brought awareness among the people. He followed non-violence and Satyagraha and got freedom for India.
Mahatma Gandhi, father of the nation. An epitome of non-violence and patriotism, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi led the nation and secured independence for India. He studied law in England and became a barrister. Before he left for England, he promised his mother 3 things. He would not touch non-vegetarian food, he would not look at any woman with lust, and he would not touch alcohol. In 1893, he left for South Africa to argue a case. On the way in the train, he was thrown out and insulted for daring to travel as a co-passenger of a white man. When he went to South Africa, he witnessed the sad plight of the Indians there who had gone as laborers. To protest against oppression of the Indians and of unjust laws, Gandhiji started Satyagraha in 1915. He returned to India, studied the Indian environment for a year, and decided to jump into the freedom struggle. Champaran in Bihar was the first test case of Satyagraha. The government was compelled to look into the matter of injustice meted out to the poor indigo planters. This made Gandhiji more popular. Gradually, he became the leader of the leaders. Gandhiji infused in the masses a spirit of fearlessness and the will to stand against any repression, whether it was lathi charge or firing or imprisonment. The passing of the Rowlatt Act in 1919 was for the arbitrary arrest and imprisonment of the nationalists. Gandhiji launched an anti-Rowlatt satyagraha on a mass scale. Two leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlew and Dr. Satyapal, led to the protests and the British banned public meetings. In 1919, unaware of this ban at Jallianwala Bagh, the people of Amritsar held a meeting to protest the arrest. General Dyer blocked the escape route and ordered indiscriminate shooting. Hundreds of people were trapped and killed. The whole nation was in shock. After the First World War, Britain imposed humiliating terms on Sultan of Turkey, who was the Caliph of the Islam. This angered the Muslims who started Khilafat movement against the Caliph. When violence broke out in Chauri Chaura, Gandhiji suspended the non-cooperation movement. He was arrested. Congress members Rajendra Prasad, C. Rajagopalachari, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru gave full support to Gandhiji. In 1927, the Simon Commission constituted to review the Government of India Act of 1919. No Indian member was included in the commission. The Congress adopted complete independence as its goal. Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the President of Congress, adopted the resolution of Purna Swaraj. Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement. As the first step, Dandi March followed. This was to break the unjust law that stopped people from making salt. The Salt Satyagraha was meant to unite people. By the Salt March, Gandhiji wanted people to know that there were very many poor people who could not afford to buy even a pinch of salt. Dandi and other Indian coasts had free salt, but it was banned to be used by an Indian. So Gandhiji made salt at Dandi. The British again arrested Gandhiji. Sarojini Naidu then led the Satyagraha. Abbas Tyabji helped Mrs. Sarojini Naidu. Even women stepped out of their houses to support the movement. When the Round Table Conference bore no positive results, Gandhiji decided to relaunch the movement. Fearing the West, British arrested him. Indian National Congress was branded as illegal. To make matters worse, the British brought out the Communal Award, whereby the untouchables would be given separate treatment from their higher caste Hindus. They were given the right to choose their representatives through elections. This right the British had already given to the Muslims. Thus, 3 voting lists came up. The divide and rule policy thus further divided Hindus into 2 groups. Dr. Ambedkar, though initially believed that political concessions would yield better results for the untouchables, later came around to accept Gandhiji's views. Gandhiji went on a fast unto death against the Communal Award. Ultimately, Gandhiji's fast led to the provision of a joint electorate for all Hindus with reservation of seats for depressed classes. Gandhiji named the untouchables as Harijans, or the people of God. The Harijan movement had its headquarters at Sabarmati Ashram. A unique personality, Gandhiji preached what he practiced. Simple living and high thinking were his basic beliefs. He believed in non-violence in thoughts, words and actions. He said that the violence is the law of the jungle. Ahimsa or non-violence was the sole power, he said. He wanted to popularize Khadi. He could totally and easily identify himself with the poor, illiterate masses. Their problem was his problem. Throughout his life, his main support was his wife Kasturba. You can beat or lathi charge a person when he or she reacts to your insult. But what will you do if the victims of your lathi charge keep quiet with fortitude and courage? This is what happened against the British. In 1942, when Japan threatened to attack India, Gandhiji called for a nationwide satyagraha. He asked the British to quit India and called out to the people to do or die. This united the Indians. Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted a separate state for the Muslims. One more fighter, Subhash Chandra Bose, who believed in the use of force to get freedom, organized the Indian National Army. He died in an air crash. India became independent on 15th August 1947, while the entire nation was enjoying its newfound freedom. The man most responsible for it, Mahatma Gandhi, was away in Calcutta comforting the victims of Hindu-Muslim clashes. The apostle of peace that he is, Gandhiji vowed to bring together the Hindus and the Muslims. But on January 30th, 1948, he was shot dead while he was on his way to evening prayers in Delhi. Gandhiji lived and died for the country. Bapu, as he is known, is rightly remembered as the father of the nation.
Gandhi-Irvin Pact, 1931. As a result, in 1931, the Gandhi-Irvin Pact was signed. According to this pact, the civil disobedience movement was suspended and the Congress decided to attend the next roundtable conference on the condition of release of all political prisoners and withdrawal of the SALT law. The Second Roundtable Conference, 1931. The Second Roundtable Conference was held in London in 1931. As per the Gandhi-Irvin Pact, Gandhiji attended the Second Roundtable Conference in England. As no decision could be reached regarding the communal question and constitutional changes, Gandhiji returned to India without any settlement. When he landed in India, he was arrested and the Congress was banned. The civil disobedience movement was once again revived. Civil Disobedience Movement or the Salt Satyagraha of 1930. In order to achieve complete independence for India, Gandhi started Civil Disobedience Movement in 1930. The British government levied tax on common salt used by millions of people. It hit the poor hard. The Civil Disobedience Movement was started on 12th March 1930. Gandhiji and 78 chosen followers, including Sarojini Naidu, left Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi, a village on the Gujarat sea coast, to break the salt laws. It covered nearly a distance of 400 kilometers. This march is popularly known as Dandi March. Gandhiji and thousands of Indians who had joined him during the course of the march reached Dandi on 6th April 1930. The slogan Vande Mataram echoed everywhere. Gandhiji broke the salt laws on the same day by preparing salt from sea water. In Tamil Nadu, C. Rajagopalachari, Rajaji organized a march from Tiruchi to Vedaranyam on Tanjore coast to break the salt laws.